What's up, guys? Unanimous Champs. JDanks is here. However, the Siegs is not here. The guy took a 1-week vacation after not even uploading for a whole fucking month. But we have our number one fan, Unanimous Champs the third member, Mr. Ben Levy. Ben, say what's good.
What's good, guys?
Been a long time coming. Our first guest. We're gonna jump right into things. Main event last week, UFC San Diego. We had Dominik Cruz taking on Chito Vera, two top guys in the division. Ben, you can start off, bro.
Let me tell you. What a shot.
What a shot, bro.
What a kick.
Leg kick to the head.
Boom, out cold.
I don't know if you saw Dominik Cruz's nose, but Dominik Cruz's nose was plastered to the other side. Looks like he just got hit with a Francis Ngannou hammer. Sucks for Dominik Cruz. I mean, he's a legend in the sport. One of the best ever, if not the best, 135er ever.
It was a good fight, too.
It was.
They were going back and forth. They were swinging. He got knocked down a couple times, but that leg kick
crazy. They each knocked each other down a couple times. The whole card was good, but the main event was what took it. You even see, man, like Chito Vera, up and comer, still young in the sport, only 27 years old, has had his, start off his career on The Ultimate Fighter, got his contract, started off 50-50, win 2, lose 1, that type of thing. Then he went on a streak of he beat Rob Font. Well, he beat Sugar Sean O'Malley, which was a controversial win, but still got the job done. Which I want to see that fight happen again. We'll talk about that soon. But he beat Rob Font. He lost to Jose Aldo, but he just beat a top guy again in Dominik Cruz in crazy fashion. Also a crazy KO of Frankie Edgar last fight. Also another kick to the face. Anyways, let's move on from UFC San Diego, but I want to stick with the bantamweights. Let's talk about the bantamweight division. So Dominik Cruz, Chito Vera, they just fought. They will be out for a little while. But we have a big time title fight coming up at UFC 280 in Abu Dhabi. We have Sterling taking on TJ Dillashaw. The return for the belt for TJ. We'll talk about predictions later. But as for the rest of the division, what do you want to see happen? Sugar Sean O'Malley's looking for a fight. Aldo's paired up with Merab. You have Song Yadong paired up with Corey Sandhagen. First off, let's start off. Who do you think takes the fight, Sterling or Dillashaw?
First of all, I'm a big Dillashaw fan.
Yeah.
I'm not a believer in Sterling, honestly. I think this is his first time defending against someone else apart from Yan.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to get shook straight away by Dillashaw.
Wow.
I think he's going to get shook right away, belt gone, back down to the division.
You feel a finish?
I feel a finish.
Wow.
I think I'm going to go with a round 2 finish by TJ Dillashaw as my official prediction.
That's major. I personally don't think... I'm on the opposite side. I think Sterling is legit. I think we saw one really bad performance. We saw one really bad performance with Sterling taking on Yan in the first fight. He looked sloppy, but he came back better than ever against Peter Yan. Really put it on him and became the champ, and now he's defending against a guy who had a long layoff and then arguably lost his return fight against Corey Sandhagen.
There's just something about Dillashaw coming back up for this title run now. I just feel like he's going to get it done. I think he's got to accomplish it. He needs it back.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's more of a mental thing, He was dominant. He was a 135-pound champ, and then he got popped for steroids on his move down to 125. I forget the name of the steroid. It doesn't matter, but, I mean, people are saying he's been using his whole career. He's not the same fighter without it. Because it's a steroid that, boost your performance, obviously, and the amount of time you could fight, your cardio, your endurance. And that's what TJ Dillashaw is known for. He's a guy that puts on a pace, much like Aljo. So it's a fight that I'm really pumped to see. Let's stick on that card, though. We have this fight. When this was announced... Sorry, I said before Sugar's looking for a fight. He's definitely not looking for a fight.
He's not looking for a fight.
He is fighting...
Peter Yan.
The Russian beast. He's fighting Peter
Yan. Out of nowhere.
Like, he fought Munoz, and I think a week later he was announced to fight Peter Yan, arguably the people's number one guy in the division.
He's my number one guy in the division.
He's many people's number one. I had Peter Yan before he lost to Sterling. Yeah. Before he lost that belt. I had, or won, whatever. Anyways, he wasn't officially champ because of what happened in the first fight. But I had Peter Yan in my top 5 pound-for-pound list. Crispy boxer. Great everywhere. Could take the fight to the ground. Everywhere. He'll never bring it to the ground. But if it goes to the ground, he'll be just fine. But he's against another striker in Sugar Sean O'Malley. And I don't even know how I feel about this fight.
I don't know. I don't really know what to say about it because, like you just said, Yan is great everywhere. Sugar, we know him for being flashy, always looking for the knockouts. But this is a real big fight to prove if he can take on one of the top guys in the division.
Yeah.
We have not seen him fight someone as good as Yan before. And I don't really know what to say.
Not even close. Not even close to a guy like Yan. He fought in 2020. He ran through 3 random guys. And like, no offense to you guys, but like, you know, he just knocked the fuck out of you guys. That was it. Like Chris Montino, whatever his name was. Buddy, you have green hair. Like you're not meant to be in a UFC octagon, unfortunately. Ran through 3 guys. Then had a fight against Munoz, and we're like, this is the fight that, you know, this is gonna be the decision maker of whether or not Sugar Show is legit. And of course, it didn't go the way anyone wanted. He thought he won. He dribbled. He threw up the 3.
Super clear poke to the eye.
Yeah, super clear. I mean, Munoz maybe played it off a bit, but when people say, you know, he just wanted to pay, like, come on. He's a UFC fighter. He's an athlete. He's not doing that, like, just to get some money. Come on.
Sure, no.
He's a top 10 guy. He wants to fight for the belt. Just sets him back 6 months.
Especially beating a guy like Sugar with all the hype would have done things for his career.
Like, he moves up to a mega fight, a big time fight. Anyways, let's give our prediction. But so I'll start. I don't think Sugar's ready for this. I really don't think he's ready because, like we just said, like he didn't really fight Munoz, so he's going from unranked to the number 1 guy.
Yeah.
Who isn't Aljamain Sterling, and that's going to be the biggest test.
Yeah.
In Sugar's career, mentally, physically, and we saw when he fought Chito Vera, he's very susceptible to the leg kicks, and Yan likes to throw those low kicks. I don't know how Sugar's going to do it. He's tall, he's lanky. But he's longer than Yan, so who knows?
I'm gonna have to agree with you on this one. I think Yan gets the job done, like you said before.
I think so.
His fighting game is just all around way too complete against a guy like Sugar. I got Yan by murder. I don't think.
Really? Wow.
I think it gets stopped.
It's a 3-round fight. It's not even a 5-round fight.
I think it'll get stopped maybe towards the end of the fight in the 3rd round. I think he's gonna wear him down. I think he's just gonna be too much for him overall. Sugar is not ready to take this step.
Wow.
He's not ready.
Wow. I mean, I'm definitely going with Yan, but I don't think he knocks him out. I think they take it 3. It's only 3 rounds. If it was a 5-round fight, I could see Yan taking maybe 4 or 5.
He's gonna wear him down. He's gonna wear him down. When's the last time you've seen Sugar fight on the ground?
Oh, never.
There you
never.
go.
The only time
Yan
you see Sugar on the ground
he can wear him out. He's gonna put Sugar in a fight that Sugar Sean O'Malley does not want to be in.
For sure. And the one thing is about a 3-round fight is you win that first round. If Sugar goes out and wins that first round, I think he's winning that fight. Just because, like, he's a very confident guy, and if he goes out there and wins round 1 convincingly, outstrikes him, uses his range, he's going to go to his corner. The boy Tim Welch, the coach, is going to give him that confidence he needs to go out there, win 2, win 3, and win the fight. But same thing goes for Yan. If he goes out there and wins round 1, Sugar's done.
That's what I'm saying. I think Yan goes out there round 1, lays on top of him, hits him with some significant strikes, shows Sugar who the real number 1 guy in the division is, and towards the end of the fight, because Sugar's so tired, he gets a stoppage. That's it.
I'm okay with that prediction. That's one fight. Honestly, that is the number 1 fight, a non-title fight, of course, that I'm most excited to see out of any upcoming fights. It's just, you know, it's an unexpected announcement, which I love. It's one of my favorite fighters. Like, Sugar's got to be your favorite fighter.
I love Sugar too. I love Sugar.
Who do you want to win? You want to see Sugar win.
Everybody wants to see Sugar win. We want to see what's next for him. We want Sugar to go up, get that belt, knock Aljamain or TJ Dillashaw out, and dance and dribble all over them as the new championship.
Wow.
Everybody wants to see that, but I just don't think he gets it done.
Fair. But, so you just said he goes up and he knocks out TJ or Sterling, or at least you want to see it. So you're saying win at UFC 280, a win against Peter Yan, number 1 Yan. It's the belt.
It's got to be the belt.
It's
got to take out the number 1 guy in the division, who is like a pretty dominant champ for a period of time.
Yeah. Okay, but how about this? Chito Vera just won.
That's true.
Who wouldn't want to see that rematch?
Depends on the timeline.
I mean, Chito's ready to go. If O'Malley wins that fight, he's ready to go. And I mean, O'Malley wants that. I mean, he doesn't consider it that loss an L, but we all know that was an L on the record. Doesn't matter any other way. It's a 1 under L in the column on your record. So he wants to get that one back, and I would love to see Sugar fight Chito.
I take back what I said, because I think Chito deserves a shot at the belt too after that performance. After that performance, I think Chito deserves a shot at the belt also. But I would have absolutely no problem with seeing them run that back. winner takes on the champ, no problem.
100%.
I agree with that.
Because the reason why I say this is because a fight at UFC 278, which we'll get into soon, we actually started talking about UFC 278, is Aldo against Merab Divashvili. I'm sorry.
Guys. The bantamweight division is popping right now.
The bantamweight division is the most entertaining division, hands down.
Behind that.
People say the lightweights, but ever since Khabib retired, the lightweights, even when Khabib was there, you knew what you were getting.
Well, you always knew what's happening when Khabib was fighting someone.
And I mean, come on, you guys really want to see Dustin Poirier fight for a belt again? You guys really want to see Justin Gaethje fight for a belt again? These guys are bums. You guys are one-dimensional fighters. We love to watch them, but no one really cares to see them fight for a belt again anytime soon.
Yeah.
Anyways, Aldo against Merab. If Aldo gets through this, I think Aldo's gotta fight for the belt.
There's just so many guys going.
Just
First
think
of all,
about the story. So if Aldo wins,
right now,
Sterling
he's
wins.
not
Okay, you could do that, Dave. You don't think he's getting through
It's
Merab.
not happening.
But if Aldo wins, well, Merab wins.
7 fight win streak.
Yeah. No, never
Aldo's
7
on
fight
a
win streak. 2
3
different
fight win
divisions.
streak, I
Aldo,
believe,
the 145-pound
too
king,
old.
and TJ
I know
Dillashaw,
he's got the
135-pound
technique. He's
king.
still a dominant fighter. We've
their
seen in
respective
history.
divisions.
But this guy Merab,
Aldo could
been
be
on
a
a hot
chance.
streak
That would be
lately,
a
taking down some
two
big name
veterans.
guys. He's been fighting very well. He's been impressive.
Winner
for sure.
and loser.
Aldo also
retire
fought
after
big
that
name
fight.
guys. Beat Chito Vera
Yeah.
actually. I want to say a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years.
Wasn't the most exciting fight, 3-round fight, won unanimous decision. But Chito coming up like this and putting on these crazy performances, and the fact that Aldo had beat him 2 years ago or whatever it was, just puts a stamp on sorry, how great Aldo really is. And he's coming up against Merab, who's just puts on the pace, puts on the pressure, trains with Sterling actually.
Yeah.
And once Merab gets his hands on you, you're going to the mat, and it's not a pretty sight because he is relentless. And you saw what he did against Marlon Moraes, just took him down, pounded his head in. Sorry. And it's a tricky one because Aldo on the feet, 100% all day.
Yeah.
Second hits the ground, Merab all day. Another great stylistic match at UFC 278. The third fight of the night, the only one of 3 fights we really care about, to be honest. Like, no one really cares to see Marcin Tybura take on Alex Romanov. Alex Romanov, is that his name? Romanov, anyways.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Romanov, quickly, if he gets through this one, he's top 10. He's top 10, and he's in for a big fight. He's undefeated. I'm down to see this one, too, but, of course, you can't miss Aldo versus Merab. And then, the return
Paulo Costa.
of Paulo Costa, and another huge return.
Luke Rockhold. Ooh, baby. I'm excited for this one, JDanks.
I know.
I'm excited for
I'm
this
pumped
fight.
because I'm going to go to work, and I'm only getting off around 11, so I'm going to see those 3 fights.
Yeah.
Aldo Merab, Luke Rockhold, Costa, and of course the main event, which we'll get to soon.
Yeah.
But Rockhold against Merab. Rockhold against Costa. Costa's last fight, 2 L's, Izzy and Vittori.
Yeah.
This guy's just a straight meme. I've grown to like him, honestly. He's an
I
entertaining
like
guy.
Costa. I want to see him go in there and fucking rock Luke.
I think that's what's going to
I
happen.
want to see him rock Luke. I
Like-
want to see him knock him out on his ass. Good night. See you later, Luke Rockhold. I don't want to hear your name. I want Paulo Costa to punch the shit out of you. I want him done. I
Yes,
want
sir.
him asleep.
Paulo Costa just is known for putting on those bar burners of a fight. You saw what he did against Romero.
Yeah.
Just an absolute fight of the year contender. And Rockhold, I mean, Costa has heavy hands, and Rockhold has a pretty darn glass chin.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate Rockhold came back. He made a big statement coming back against a top contender at light heavyweight in Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah.
Got knocked the fuck out.
See ya.
The Sikhs. Anyways, but I'm still down to see Rockhold. I mean, he's a former champ, crushed Weidman to win the belt, then went on to lose to Bisping in pretty terrible fashion. But again, we're pumped for this fight.
Yeah.
But we got to move to the main event. We've got pound for pound number 1, Kamaru Usman.
In his return from injury.
In his return from his broken hand or wrist, I think it was hand.
Yeah.
Against up-and-comer, a guy that's on a 9-fight win streak, I forget, Leon Rocky Edwards, the Brit. I mean, it seems like a pretty obvious question. Who's going to win? Why can't, Kamaru Usman win? What was the reason for him to lose? There's no reason.
Coming off injury, maybe. I don't know. But, in my opinion, sure, we talk about Volkanovski. Those two, 1 and 2, interchangeable for pound for pound, number 100%. But this guy, Usman, is so dominant. So
100%.
dominant. He's ran through the entire division, some of which he's done it twice now. His knockout on Masvidal, like,
Oh
my God, are you
Gilbert
kidding me?
Burns. Gilbert Burns.
Can't even forget about these. Like, Usman is just that guy. He's
He
been
is.
running that division. He's still running that division. He's gonna run that division for a while. There's no stopping him right now.
Even when he wasn't champ, he was running that division.
Of
Nobody
course,
wanted
of
to
course.
fight that man, Kamaru Usman. And, I compare this fight a lot to the build-up of when Usman won the belt against Woodley. Woodley was known as nobody can take the belt off this guy. Was dominating the division. Still to this day, I mean, even with his history, his recent history of fucking losing to Jake Paul
Shout out
twice,
Jake Paul.
you got to bring up Jake Paul's name in an MMA podcast.
course,
It just
of
has to be
course.
done. But losing to Jake Paul just kind of just downgraded his whole fucking legacy, which sucks to see. But he is one of the best welterweight champs of all time,
Yeah.
for sure. And Usman just came up there, the underdog, the betting underdog as well, just smoked him, took 5 rounds to 0, took that belt from him, and from then on has ran the division. And I can see that happening with Edwards, because when he took the belt off Woodley was on a long layoff coming off an injury. And I don't know, there's something about a long layoff, being at the top, getting up there in age, your body isn't the same.
If there was a time for it to happen, this
It's
could
now.
be it.
It's now.
It
It's
could
definitely
be it,
now.
Yeah.
And I mean, Leon Edwards has been waiting for the shot for years.
Yeah.
Nobody got the fight with him. He finally got a fight against Nate fucking Diaz, dominated the fight, then got clipped in the last round, which was one of the craziest moments in UFC that I've seen. And now it's his shot, it's his time. I don't know if he could get it done. I don't know if I hope he gets it done, because I love Usman, but I'd love to see a change in that division, because let's be real, we both love Covington. Covington can't fight Usman
I
again.
love Covington.
He can't fight Usman again. He's already fought him twice. He's lost twice.
That's the thing. If Usman wins, then we go, what's next, right?
It's got to be Chimaev if he beats Nate.
Yeah.
And then after that, though, really, what is there?
Yeah.
What is there?
Oh, I totally forgot about Chimaev. I would,
Yeah.
forget Edwards. I want to see Usman win this fight and fight Chimaev.
Seriously.
I want to see Chimaev beat the shit out of
'Cause-
Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
Get him out of the UFC. Your time is done, Nate Diaz.
Well, I don't
see
want-
you later.
I don't want to see anyone beat the shit out of Nate Diaz, but
I
it's
do.
gonna happen.
Fuck Nate
It
Diaz.
happens every time.
Fuck Nate Diaz.
Why fuck Nate Diaz, bro?
Fuck Nate
Are you a
Diaz,
Conor
man.
fan? Are you a Conor fan?
JDanks, don't get me started. Conor McGregor is the biggest bitch in the UFC.
Well,
Making a movie.
Yeah.
He's not even in the fucking
I
UFC.
know, I was
Is he ever
gonna
gonna
say-
come back?
I was gonna say he's
Probably not. Conor McGregor, certified bitch. I don't care if you're a fan of him, the Siegs is a fan of him. I'm the #1 fan of this podcast, and I'm saying
Wow.
right now
That
on
is
Unanimous
major.
Champs, Conor McGregor is a bitch.
Wow. Okay, that's a great clip right there. We're gonna have to clip that. Post on the TikTok. Post on Instagram. All sorts. Major entertainment here coming. But the thing that's left with Usman is, I mean, of course I want to see him fight Chimaev, but I think he gets through Chimaev.
Yeah.
But then after that, I mean, what's next for this guy? The only knock on him right now is why he may not be recognized as the #1 welterweight of all time is because he only has, I want to say, 5 title defenses against Colby, Masvidal, and Burns. I mean, you've defended your belt against 3 people.
Yeah.
This will be a 4th. Chimaev will be a 5th for a total of 7 or 8 title defenses, and then he won't even move up to fight Izzy
He won't
Adesanya.
go fight Izzy Adesanya.
So that
That's
is
the
why
problem.
my dream. I love Izzy. I don't like watching him fight. I fall asleep every
Oh my
time.
god, come on.
But I really want to see Alex Pereira beat Izzy just so that Usman can move out.
I have Pereira beating Izzy. I have that happening.
I'm still unsure
I see it
about that.
happening.
UFC 281.
I
in
agree
November.
with the Siegs on that one.
MSG. Mental.
That's gonna be
crazy,
crazy.
bro.
That's gonna be crazy.
That is headlined by Pereira and Adesanya. You just said you got Pereira, but there's also some huge fights. Paddy the Baddy, not scheduled yet, but they're looking to book him at MSG. He wants to be on a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
He deserves it. He brings in the eyes.
For sure.
Molly McCann, another Brit. And you can't forget about Dustin Poirier against Michael
Ooh.
Chandler. Don't know if it's a
Ooh.
3 or 5 round fight yet. I'm hoping for a
I'm
5
hoping
round
for
fight.
a 5 for sure. For sure.
You want to hear what I think? 3 round fight, Chandler.
Yeah.
5 round fight, Poirier all day.
I don't know.
By 3rd round or 4th round finish.
I don't know. I like Dustin Poirier, but I mean, I think Chandler's a different beast. I think Chandler can take him.
He is.
I don't see in a world where Poirier beats him right now. I don't know. I think striking.
It's very even.
It's
But Chandler
pretty
dazzes
even.
out. So if it's a 3 round fight, I mean, Chandler
Yeah.
could definitely take it. The thing is with Chandler is
I think Chandler's too strong.
He's
I
strong.
think he's a dog. I think he's too much of a dog for Poirier. And
And he's
Poirier
a
doesn't
sick
like
fuck.
fighting those dogs.
Poirier fights those dogs and he fights them fine. He's in those dog fights, but I don't think he truly loves it
He
anymore.
doesn't.
I don't
No,
think he likes
can't.
it.
He can't.
ever since that title loss to Oliveira, I feel like he's just a depressed man living in Lafayette, Louisiana. The poor kid, man. The poor kid. But we have that fight. Again, I'm a huge Chandler fan. The thing about Chandler is he came over from Bellator and just got re-energized, motivated, like wants to prove himself, wants to prove to the MMA world and Dana White that just because you're not in the UFC doesn't mean you're not one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
And
I think he's already proved that.
For sure, he's proven.
He's already proven
knocked
that
out
for sure.
Dan Hooker.
Crazy fight with Gaethje.
Crazy
Oh my
fight of
God,
the year where he
crazy.
held his own. I mean, arguably could have won the fight for sure.
Yeah.
But the knock on Poirier is the opposite of Chandler. I mean, Poirier just is no longer motivated. How can you be motivated? You got your money against McGregor. You got your 2 title fights, Khabib and Oliveira. This guy's got to move up to 170. Stop being such a bitch. Go up and fight Colby.
And that's what I really wanted to see. I really want to see that Covington
Me too.
fight before they made this Chandler fight. Like,
Me too.
This Chandler fight, yeah, I'm pretty excited to see. It's going to be a good fight. Looking forward to it for sure. But the fight I really wanted to see Poirier have, I wanted to see Poirier go get the shit beaten out of him by Colby.
Yeah,
I wanted to go see that.
I just love seeing Colby Covington fight week. It's the best thing in the world. I used to hate him.
Who's Colby going to fight now?
I don't know. I don't even know, man.
Like,
Colby, I mean, no, because if Chimaev wins, he's fighting Usman.
Yeah.
But I have a question for you later on. It involves a dream fight, and my dream fight is honestly, I think Chimaev against Colby Covington. Like, just a chatter between them, the actual styles, like the grappler against wrestler, or wrestler against wrestler, whatever. Crazy. Anyways, pull out your phone. So we got him on here. We wanted to just recap Dominik Cruz against Chito Vera, talk about the bantamweight division, preview UFC 278. But of course, we can't end it there. I mean, he's on for the first time. It's our first ever guest. We got to entertain the fans. We have a few questions for you. First question, let's get right to it. Favorite fighter and why?
Favorite fighter?
And yeah, go on.
Honestly, right now, I'm a big fan of Charlie Oliveira.
Oh, wow.
Big fan of Oliveira right now.
Good.
Everything he's doing in that lightweight division, I think he's doing an insanely good job. I think he's proving people wrong. He's been dominant. I think he walks through Makachev. I don't give a fuck.
Wow, as the underdog.
I don't give a. That's so disrespectful
so
that they made him that underdog.
It's literally Khabib's little bitch.
I think he's walking through him. I don't give a fuck how many times Khabib says Makachev is amazing. Makachev's amazing. He's the next guy. I don't give a fuck.
Oliveira is that guy.
Man, he is that guy.
And he has no reason for people to fucking put him as an underdog against a guy who just came off a win off Bobby fucking Green.
Yeah, come on.
Like, embarrassing.
Brutal.
Second question. This is a cool one, actually. If you can switch places, lives, whatever, with one UFC fighter, who would it be?
I could be one fighter right now.
Like, just the lifestyle, where they are at in the UFC.
I mean, it's hard, because if we're talking outside of the UFC, although I just called him a bitch, it's obviously got to be McGregor.
Yeah.
If we're talking outside of the UFC...
I thought you were going to say, like, Jake Paul or something.
First of all, I'm a huge Jake Paul fan. I don't give a fuck about how much slander there has been on Jake Paul on this podcast. Jake Paul is a legitimate boxer, and he's going to knock out whoever he fights next. I don't care if it's KSI. I don't care if it's fucking McGregor when they fight. People hate on him way too much. This guy trains like a dog.
I do agree with that.
He's proven he's got the power. Yeah. Jake Paul, he's a legitimate boxer, man. I don't care what these people say. But if I could swap lives with one fighter inside the octagon right now, based off their skill, the way they're fighting, I got to go with Volkanovski.
Wow,
I love what he's been doing. For
sure.
He's consistent in the ring.
I think
dominating.
I think he's pound for pound number one. I don't think.
If
Usman wins this, dominantly, fair. Usman could be number one.
Yeah.
He probably still is number one. But I just love Volkanovski. He's fought better competition too.
Yeah. And every time Volk fights, every time Volk just puts on a show, I'm like, okay, Volk's the number one guy. Every time Usman puts on a show, I'm like, all right, Usman's the number one.
And then there's number 3 Adesanya. He doesn't put on a show, so he can never be that top 2. Anyways, personally, I would go with Sugar Sean O'Malley. That guy's living the life, fighting the number one guy. Like, I'd love to. I would exactly, man. He's signed to Nelk. Like, this guy's probably making the most money in the UFC outside of Izzy and probably Masvidal, a couple other. You know, like Sugar is racking that money, and it's good to see. Third
That's a good answer.
question. We kind of cover this. Most entertaining division right now.
Said the bantamweight division. There's just so many names right there. Like I was gonna mention before, we didn't even talk about what happens. Like if Yan wins, does he go back for the belt? Like are we seeing that a third time? Probably not. There's just so many guys competing that can go get that belt right now on a very close level. Like that division's keeping me awake for sure.
For sure. Fourth question. 3 fights or however many, 2, 3, 4. You want to see end of 2022, start of 2023. Could be any division. You could pair welterweight with light heavyweight. Like, doesn't matter.
First of all, to start out, I know you guys I've talked about this on the podcast before, but when Oliveira beats the shit out of Makachev,
Oh, wow.
I would love to see Volkanovski and Oliveira.
Yeah, I'm
fight.
okay with that.
I would love to see that.
I'm okay with that.
That's something like, if I could watch that, man.
I feel like no one even really talks about that because they're just
they're
writing Oliveira off.
Yeah.
And they're just thinking about what's next for Usman, and they're not even considering a move up from Oliveira. They're considering, Usman's going to move to 205. Like, okay, guys, relax. He's going to put on fucking whatever, 30 pounds or whatever it is to fight Yuri Prokaska. Like, come on, man. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Usman isn't going to 205, and if he does, he's getting murked. Like, simple. That's it.
Another big fight I would like to see is if and whenever McGregor decides to come back. Who he fights, I don't really care.
Anyone.
I don't really care. I want to see him fight someone, and I want to see him lose. Realize that he's not that guy. Call it quits. Go make your movies. Go live in Hollywood, and get the fuck out of the UFC.
And go fight Jake Paul.
Yeah, go fight Jake Paul. Go take a payday. Let me see that, and let me see Jake Paul knock the fuck out of you.
Oh,
That's it.
shit.
That's
Bang!
it.
Okay, third fight, go.
Third fight, I want to see John Jones come back, too. I need to see him come back. I don't care if it's against Yuri. I don't care where it is. I need to see him come back, and I need to see him prove why he is the greatest fighter of all time.
Yeah. So, at first I'm like, I want to see John Jones come back and fight Francis Ngannou, because who doesn't want to see that fight? Like, can John Jones just not get knocked out? And if he gets that heavyweight champ status, the double champ status, he will without a doubt be the best of all time.
100%.
No doubt. I don't even give a shit if you say, steroids. There's no doubt he would be number one. No doubt.
No doubt.
But as Yuri Prokaska starts to win and I see how he fights, his personality, I want to see John Jones fight Yuri Prokaska.
I think that would be a better fight than people are anticipating.
I think so too.
Yuri's a legit fighter, man. He is a good fighter, and I think if he rematches Glover, it's going to be the same result. He's going to take him out, and I think he's going to be on top of that division until John Jones comes back and shows him what's really up.
100%. Another fight I want to see, and then we'll move on, is, like I said, Chimaev against Covington. But I would love to see, we just said how stacked the bantamweights are.
Yeah.
I would love to see another huge name in that division in Davison Figueiredo, the 125 champ, move up and fight for the belt, whoever it's against. It could be against Sterling, it could be against anyone, Dillashaw, Sugar Show, anyone. I want to see another big name added to that division, and I love to see double champs, you know. So if he could come up and win that status, run around with 2 fucking belts, the little Brazilian who can't even talk English, I'm pumped to see that.
That would be crazy.
And another fight I would love to see, he's probably on your list, another comeback, a much anticipated comeback in the former 125 and 135 pound champ, Henry Cejudo, Triple C. I want to see him come back, and I want to see him fight either Sugar Sean O'Malley, Peter Yan, or Aljamain Sterling.
Him and Sugar could be a crazy fight.
Could be a crazy
Return
fight.
of Triple H there?
Unbelievable. Those are mine. Let's move on.
That would be a crazy fight. That's a good shout.
We're going to have to end it soon, but before we end it, we're talking about GOATs. We're talking about John Jones.
Yeah.
Top 3 greatest of all times.
All right, well, number 1, I just said it before, John Jones.
Okay.
I think he's the most dominant. I think he's just... most dominant I think is Khabib.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, most dominant I think is Khabib. But the greatest of all time, I got to go with John Jones.
Fair.
Number 2, I'm going with GSP. I think he's still the greatest welterweight of all time. He's got an edge over Usman.
And he fucking won the middleweight belt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Off a 3-year
yeah.
layoff, you know?
He's ridiculous. GSP, hometown guy, too. Come on.
I think if GSP were to come back right now and fight Usman, I think he would win.
You're crazy.
I think GSP can beat Usman.
You're crazy.
And
You're crazy.
I'm not crazy because he's done it and he can do it again. The way he trains, the way his lifestyle is, he's like the healthiest man alive.
Yeah.
Trains like a beast. You see it on his Instagram. Like, the guy is just a fucking specimen, man. You never see this. A guy who retires at the perfect time, too. A guy who retired at the perfect time. Went out on top, kind of like Khabib.
Yeah.
Number 3?
Number 3 is Khabib for me.
Wow.
I want to give a shout out.
Wow.
Got to give a shout out to Anderson Silva.
Fair.
But number 3 for me is Khabib. Khabib is just the most dominant we've ever seen. I think he gets a little too much hate for taking maybe some easy fights or retiring a bit too early. But every single guy we've seen him fight, domination. He lays on top of you for rounds and he submits you every single time. Khabib, there was no stopping him. There was no one even close to stopping him. Come on. It was ridiculous. He
Fair.
ran through everybody.
Fair. I agree with that. Whenever someone says who's your most dominant, it's got to be
It's
Khabib.
gotta be.
I mean, yeah, he only defended his belt against McGregor and Dustin Poirier. But, I mean, does it
Gaethje
really...
too.
Yeah,
Defended
Gaethje too.
against Gaethje
His
too.
last one. Does it really matter? Does it really matter that he only had 3? Because he could have had 10, and I think they all would have looked like
Yeah,
that.
of course.
They all
of
would have
course.
looked like
And
that.
He could have kept going.
You've
Everybody
never-
knows he could have kept going.
You've never seen a guy like that just like touch
Yeah.
you and you're on the ground. Like just
Yeah.
touch you. Okay, final question. We'll end it off here. I'll give mine. I want you to give yours. Bold prediction for the rest of 2022/2023. Bold prediction could be anything. If you don't have
for the
one,
next couple of years.
I could go first if you want to think.
Let me see. Let me hear
Okay.
yours first.
My bold prediction is that in 2023 we will see 2 double champs. One being Kamaru Usman. I think ultimately he gets past Leon Edwards, and then he either moves up to fight Pereira if Pereira gets through Izzy.
Mhm.
And I also think like if Izzy wins, he's gonna move up just because it's a big money fight. So he's gonna move up to 205.
Yeah.
And I mean, listen, if he fights anyone, it's a 50-50 chance. So
Yeah.
I'm giving it to Usman. That's my number 1 double champ. And my number 2 double champ, kind of unknown, but could be Oliveira, could be Davison Figueiredo,
Yeah.
and could be a guy like Yuri fucking Prokaska. Like, I don't
Yeah.
see him losing at light heavyweight. And the heavyweight division needs some new blood. So
That's what I'm saying. So mine was gonna be like you just talked about Usman getting that double
Yeah.
champ status, whatever.
And hold on, I just want to say, like, I'm a little controversial here because I just bashed Usman and said he has no chance against
Yeah.
Yuri. But of course, that's just me saying I don't want to see him move up 30 pounds. I want to see him defend his
It's a
belt.
lot.
at
It's a
welterweight,
lot.
you
30
know?
pounds.
It's a lot,
Yeah.
but the guy's a menace, bro. The guy's huge
Yeah,
outside of fight camp. So I mean, who knows?
My bold prediction is I think that fight between Volk and Oliveira is gonna happen.
Oh
eventually.
shit, Volkanovski. What am I saying?
He could be a double champ.
Yeah,
100%.
for sure.
But I think when
I
that
knew I was
fight
missing one.
happens, that Oliveira shows him who's really the boss of that division.
Wow.
He sends Volk back down to that division, tells him never come back. I run this division, and then he maybe decides to go up. He maybe decides to go up because he's
I'm
ran
okay to see
through.
that.
At this point, he's gonna have run through Makachev. God knows who else he
Yeah,
will
yeah.
ever fight, and he'll have taken
Ran
out
through
Volk.
fucking Chandler.
There you
fucking
go.
ran
Maybe
through
he'll want to
Poirier,
step up.
Gaethje.
Maybe he'll want to step up and be like, you know what? I'm that guy. I'm gonna take this home to the favela. Double champ status. Get the fuck out of my face. There you go.
Honestly, I don't even want to talk because that's a beautiful ending to this podcast.
Great. Evan.
Mr. Levy, pleasure, bro.
Thank you
I
for
hope to have
having
you
me.
on soon. I mean, it's gonna be tough when the Siegs is back to fit another person here, but like Siegs could just be there holding the camera because it's probably better at that anyways, realistically. Anyways, ciao guys. It's been a pleasure.